didn't I draw a ground?
Yeah.
And we were having some tunnels?
Yes.
Okay. So remind me what that was.
The decimal trick.
The decimal trick. Okay. And I started thinking after you guys left, okay, that there's a song this reminds me of. Because every time I think of dig a tunnel, I think of this song from Lion King 1.5.
Oh.
Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel, dig. Quick before the hyena comes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay? So I'm going to pause it right now. We're going to listen to that on Alexa. Okay? Okay. So on my blank page, you just watch me for now. Okay? I'm going to come up with a number that I want to multiply by 100. And your iPad should be flat so I can see what you're doing. And you should not have anything in your hand at all. Okay. So let's see what color I'm on here. Let's come up with 5.634. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm going to take this times 100. Now, over here, I believe we wrote something. When we multiply, we go to the right.
Yep.
When we divide, we go to the left. And that's a decimal trick. But somebody named it dig last year, didn't they? Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the ground. All right. The meerkat is going to tunnel under the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times will he pop his head up for 100?
Two.
2 times. How do you know it's 2 times?
Because there's 2 zeros.
2 zeros on 100. So here we go. Write your new decimal. And then my eraser on this doesn't work as well as it does on Google Classroom for you. So I'm going to erase. Whoops. Not only does it not work well, it's way too big right now. Try that. Okay. So I'm going to erase the old decimal and keep the new one. And get rid of the ground. Now that's a lot easier on Google Classroom because you could just tap once, right? Okay. So do you remember the decimal trick? So my answer for this problem is 563.4. We good?
Yep.
Okay, and then if I divide, got to get a little bit bigger eraser. If I divide by 100, let's divide this number by 100. 355. I want to divide by 100. This is a trick. Because I've got to use the decimal trick, but there's no decimal. Get your hand off the stylus. So if there's no decimal, wait a minute. My math teacher said every number has a decimal. I said that just the other day. Every number has a decimal.
And it goes at the end.
It goes at the end. We don't write it, but it's there. Remember I gave you 10 as an example? And I wouldn't write 10.0. I would just write 10. Correct?
Yeah.
So same thing with 355. Okay? I'm not going to write the decimal unless I need it. So if I divide by 100, which way do I move the
The
decimal?
left.
To the left. How many?
2.
1, 2. Write your new decimal. Erase the line and the old decimal. So what's my answer for this problem?
3.55.
Okay, so you think we can do a few of these?
Yeah.
Here's the problem, okay? The problem comes in when we have to decide if it's the zero trick or the decimal trick. And that's when kids start getting confused. Okay? So let's take a look at A on your paper. And the first thing we have to do is make a decision. Oh, that's the problem set. You guys are on homework, aren't you?
Yep.
Okay, let me get to homework. There we go. All right, so take a look at A. It says 36,000 times 10. Which trick should I use, Millie? Which trick should I use? The zero trick or the decimal trick? She changed it to 0. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Anything times 10, I can add a 0 to the end. So I'm going to write 36,000 without a comma and add a 0 to the end. Right? Okay, go ahead and write that with your pencil. And then I'm going to place my comma after I write everything. So watch me place my comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Now I've got a trick for saying this number. Every time you get to the comma, say the word 1,000. So 360,000. Okay? It's just a little comma trick. Okay? Which trick do I need to use for this, table 3? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Table 3. Which trick do I need to use for this? Zero trick or decimal trick?
0 trick.
You're right. I'm dividing, correct?
Yeah.
Do I have a 0 on my first number?
Yeah.
Do I have a 0 on the second number?
Yep.
So how many zeros will I cross off? 1. Get them crossed off and write your answer. Then we'll place our comma. So 1, 2, 3, comma. Remember that little 1,000 trick? 3,600. Okay?
It's like the comma, it's like the wood.
Okay, go to the next one. 4.3 times 10. Table 5. Which trick am I going to use? 0 or decimal? She says decimal. You guys agree? Yeah, I do too. Because you can only use the 0 trick when?
Whenever there's a 0
Somebody already almost said it.
A 0 at the
No,
end.
a whole number. A whole number. So is this 4.3 a whole number? No. So we're going to write 4.3 times 10 on our blank page. And we also need to get our little cheat sheet at the top, don't you think? Okay. So 4.3 times 10 on your blank page. Somebody in block 1 said this is a lot easier if I write it on my blank page.
Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe why I'm having you do that?
Yes, because then you don't take space.
No, because you can erase easier on your blank page, can't you?
Yep.
Okay, so you got that written down?
Yep.
All right, table 4.
Yep.
If I'm multiplying, which way do I move the decimal?
To the right. To the right.
To the right. How many for 10?
1.
1. So watch me. I'm going to move it once. Oh, you know what? We better rewrite it. Rewrite 4.3 nice and big down here. Rewrite 4.3. So they said we're going to move it to the right once. You agree?
Yes.
Okay, so watch it. Now I erase. What do I erase? My old decimal and the tunnel. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what's my answer?
43.
43. And do I need to write the decimal on 43?
No.
No. We don't write it on 10. We don't write it on 43. Okay? So back to my paper. And what's my answer?
43.
43. Write it down.
This is easy. Did I erase everything?
Okay, let's do the next one. 4.3 divided by 10. Sebastian, I don't think we need to erase everything because we've got a problem that's very similar. So I'm just going to change this to divided by 10. It'll save us some time in 5th grade math. Now, if you already erased it, go right ahead and put it on there again. Also, I wanted to keep my cheat sheet up there on the corners, don't I? Yeah. You got to stay with me, kid. All right? So, I know this is the decimal trick because it's not a whole number. So, table 2, which way will I move the decimal for divide?
Left.
Left. And how many for 10? How many zeros are on 10? 1. So we're moving it once. Everybody watch. Now I'm going to erase the old decimal and the tunnel. And do I need to put anything else on this when I write the answer?
Yes.
Okay, how about table 1?
A 0.
Okay,
In
where?
In front of the decimal.
Okay, and why am I putting a 0 in the ones place?
Because it doesn't make sense for a point.
Nope. Why am I putting a 0 in the ones place? How big is this number?
Oh.
How big is the number?
It's a
Max?
It's a negative.
No, you're close.
It's a negative one.
It's less than 1.
It's less than 1.
Less than 1. I love it. Okay, but it's not less than 0, so it can't be negative. Okay? Very good. All right, so what am I going to write for my answer on the paper?
0.43.
Good, and that's 43 hundredths. Okay? Take a deep breath. How you doing?
Good.
All right, we're going to go over to E.
Oh, highlighter.
You don't have to because we're using our blank page. You can change it to a different color on your blank page.
I'm just going to write the 0.
Okay, he's going to write the 0 with a highlighter. I'm fine with that. Okay, so look at problem E. You see it? Is that a whole number?
No.
No. So we're going to our blank page, and we're taking 2.4 times 100. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2.4 times 100. And I'm going to rewrite 2.4. All right. So table 5. You know who you are? Okay. How many times will I move the decimal for 100? 2 times. Why? There's 2 zeros on 100. Which way do I go for multiply?
The right.
Table 5.
Right.
To the right. Watch me. 1, 2. Write my new decimal. Max would say, use your highlighter to write the 0. Erase the old decimal and the tunnels. Anything else I can erase? The decimal. So what do I write for my answer?
240.
240. Then I go back to my paper and I'm going to write 240. Okay, now this one right here, we have one similar on the exit ticket that we're going to do tomorrow. So I want to talk really carefully about this one. Okay, you should be on your paper by now. You should not have your stylus in your hand. We're back to the paper. I had some kids that accidentally wrote this, and don't tell me what they did wrong. Just think about what they did wrong.
I know.
So table 2, do you have any idea what they did wrong? Put your hands down. I'm calling on tables. Table 3, do you have any idea what they did wrong? What do you think they did wrong?
They made it times instead of divide.
Is he right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they multiplied instead of divided. So be careful. Don't get fooled by that thinking you get to just add zeros to the end. Can I take zeros off of 24? No. So I'm going to have to go to my blank page and use the decimal trick. Now, 24 is a whole number, and that's why this is tricky. But remember what I told you a few days ago? Every number has a decimal. We just don't write it unless we need it. So was that 24 divided by 1,000, boys and girls?
Yes,
Okay.
24 divided by
Okay. All right. So if I'm going to now need to use the decimal, table 4, help me out. Where is the decimal in the number 24? Just tell me, table 4.
behind the 4.
Yeah, at the end of the number. So we need it, so we're writing it. Okay? Now, table 2. Which way will I move the decimal for division?
Left.
Left? How many? Someone besides Jocelyn. How many for 1,000? How many times?
3.
3. So watch me. 1, 2, 3. Write my new decimal. Fill in with a 0.
Like I would say, use a highlight.
And Max would say use a highlighter. Do I need any more zeros?
Yeah.
Because this number is less than 1. We're putting a 0 in the ones place. Now, what do I erase? It's been a while here. Which one is the old one? Right here? Okay. So 0.024. Any ideas how to say that?
2,400.
You're close. 24 thousandths. Very good. Okay. So on my paper, I'm going to write 24 thousandths. Okay, now these next two, I'm going to have you try on your own and you're going to check with me. Okay? So I'll get you started. Is 4.54 a whole number? No. So we're going to need the blank page. So get your blank page set up to do this problem. 4.54 times what? What's it say on your paper?
1,000.
Okay, times 1,000. So you're going to write 4.54 and you're going to move the decimal on your own and then you can check it with mine here in a minute. And I'm going to pause it while you're working on that. So help me out here. Table 1. You haven't answered for a while. Which way should I move the decimal?
The right.
And someone besides Quentin, how many?
3 times.
3 times. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Place my new decimal.
Max says highlighter.
As Max would say, use your highlighter for the 0. And I'm going to erase my old decimal. So if your answer, what is this? Part of my hops, I think, don't you?
Yep.
If your answer is 4,540, you did it correctly.
Let's go.
So how do you feel about that? 4,540.
Pretty good.
Okay,
Mine was keep bleaching.
I'm sorry about that.
There you go. Not good.
Okay? So are you going to do the next one on your own? Yes, you're going to try the next one on your own. So get your blank page set up. 3.054, is that it?
Yeah. 3054 point. Or sorry, 3045.4.
Really?
3045.4. Was it 5,400?
You're right. 3,050, what?
3,045.4.
3,045.4.
Divided by 100.
Divided by 100. Thank you, Quentin. Okay. So you're going to try this on your own. You're going to think about, and did you notice I did not put the comma in? Don't put the comma in when you're trying to move the decimal.
That one just messed you up.
Uh-huh. And I'm going to pause it. So help me out, table 3. Which way do I move the decimal on this one? Left. That's Max and Micah, table 3. How many for 100?
2.
Still table 3 should be answering. You agree? So if you got 30.454, you did it correctly.
Let's go.
All right?
I forgot to write the 4, that's it.
So, whoops, on the paper, I don't want to do that. On the paper, 30.454. Okay? So we're going to go down and do the next 3. And I'm going to ask table 5. Which trick will I use on these 3 problems? Zero trick or decimal trick? And I want you to be ready to tell me why you think that.
Zero trick.
She thinks zero trick. Caleb, what do you think?
Trying to write.
Don't worry about the one we just did. Take a look at these.
I think the same thing. Zero.
And why do you think zero trick?
Because there's no decimal on all of them.
That's right. They're all whole numbers, aren't they?
Yep.
And I love the zero trick on multiplication.
Oh, yeah.
Anything times 10?
Just add a 0 to the end.
Add a 0 to the end. What about 100? How many zeros will we add? Okay, so watch me do the first one. I'm going to write 14,560 without the comma. Bless you. And then I'm going to add my 0. So go ahead and write that now. And then we're going to use that little trick.
And add a comma.
1, 2, 3, comma. Okay? Now, how to say this? Listen carefully. Whenever you see the comma, you're going to say 1,000. So watch. 145,600. Okay? Do the next 2. See if you can put the commas in the right place. So let's take a look at this. 14,560, right?
Yeah.
Without a comma.
Yeah.
Table 4. How many zeros do I add on this time?
2.
Okay. So let's place the comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Now, just a minute. That first comma isn't going to be 1,000.
No.
What's it going to be?
million.
Okay, so here we go. Let's say it. 1,456,000. Does that little trick with the commas help you say numbers? For sure. Okay, so table 2. 14,560 without a comma, right? How many zeros do I have this time, table 2? 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to place my comma. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's say this one. 14,560,000. How did you decide the number of zeros in each one of those, Jocelyn?
Because it says like on thousands, it's 3 zeros.
So you're counting, are you counting total zeros here? Actually, you can. So how many total zeros in this whole problem? 4. So you've got to have 4 on your answer.
Yeah.
How many total zeros in this whole problem?
3.
So you got to have 3 in your answer. How many
2.
total zeros?
2.
So you have to have 2 in your answer. Okay? Let's look at the back side of this homework page. We're going to do a couple more. All right? So this says 16.5 divided by 10. Can I use the 0 trick?
No.
Millie, can I use the 0 trick?
No,
Why?
because you don't have a 0 on the other one.
There's not a 0 on 16.5, but
It's not a whole number.
it's not a whole number. Okay, so blank page.
Miss Lewis,
Yes?
Your problem up there is different than ours.
Yeah.
Ours
Oh
is,
no.
Ours is 1.65.
Oh yeah, it is.
Well, then I better change mine. Is it still divided by 10?
Yes.
Okay. So 1.65 divided by 10. That's what we need to write on our
And the
blank
bottom
page.
one,
It's also
too.
on the bottom.
Gotcha. And that one's divided by 100.
Yes.
All right. So let's go to the blank page. 1.65 divided by 10. Try it on your own. Check it with mine. All right. So table 3. Which way did you move the decimal?
Left.
How many?
3. Or 1.
Good.
Oh, 3.
I think I know why he said that. So then, do I need my highlighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, ooh.
And I'm going to erase my old decimal in my tunnel. And the answer,
Yes.
0.165. Anybody know how to say that one?
165 hundredths.
Okay, hold on. 165 something.
Hundredths. No?
Thousandths, because it's 3 behind the decimal. Okay, so 165 thousandths. Now, how smart are you?
Pretty smart.
Pretty smart? Is there any way you think you could figure out this next answer in your head?
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Tell me how you think you can do it, Carter.
It's because you do the decimal trick,
Right.
and then you would
Is it just going to go over one more
Yeah.
from this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might want to do it here, right?
Yeah.
Or you could do it in your head and figure it out. But that is a pattern that's continuing, isn't it? Whoops.
I did the same thing.
voila.
Now, this number isn't really one that we ever worked with in 5th grade. But you could use, and I want you to raise your hand if you can figure this out. You could use this place value chart up here to help you figure out how you might say that number. It's 165 something. Quentin's going to try.
165 10,000.
You got it. He just looked up there, didn't he? Okay, we're going to stop there. Tomorrow you're going to work with your partner on the problem set.
But it's probably a good time to stop this